The homie is in the studio. Dallas Austin is here, ladies and gentlemen. Hey.
What up?
That's the icon living.
Come on, man.
ATL, what's happening?
What's happening with you, homie?
Good, man. How you been?
Man, I'm good. First of all, let me just say, when you were posting your pop-up shops,
Yeah.
it really felt like everybody is like yearning for that Atlanta feel again.
Yeah,
like
man.
things that used to go down in Atlanta.
That's what we
and
doing,
when you were
baby.
doing your pop-up shop, I was like, oh, that feels so good.
You remember we did the first one? The first Rowdy store was in underground Atlanta, right?
Right.
And I had a demo band in there because the internet wasn't out yet, right? So you can come in the store and you could rap inside the store. And I used to have Busta, Diamond D, Too Short, because all of them was hanging at DARP at the time. And you come in the store and rap and leave your demo in there, and then we would like look at you to sign you. That's how I found Y'all So Stupid back in the day.
Wow.
So I just redid it, just started over again, man. The pop-up was the same way. You come in the store, buy some stuff, but more is like a talent show. So I found I saw like 50 acts in 3 days.
Wow.
That's dope.
Yeah.
Even in the age
acts.
of digital right now,
because
seeing somebody in person.
It's so many acts. Like when we started out, it wasn't that many producers of acts.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But now it's like it's ridiculous. Right?
Everybody's producing and everything.
Yeah, and you can't. It's not enough outlets for it. So like
Yeah.
literally 50 acts showed up in 3 days. I signed about 5 of them.
Amazing. This is really cool because the internet is like,
everywhere.
it's information overload. So to be able to just hone in on 50 people at a time, like that seems like a
Yes.
lot, but it's very intimate.
It's very intimate
and necessary.
it's necessary because like you get to see the artist for real. You get to feel their energy for real. Because you can look on the internet and not know if they really like stars for real. They can have a record, but like
Yeah.
the personality is everything. And
How do you identify a star?
man, you got to be the class clown for one. Somebody who wants all the attention for one, and I think a real star, when you have something to say, it's a different story. But when you're entertaining the people, you want all the attention, and you express yourself to the fullest, then yeah, you're probably a real star.
I heard a interview with Jermaine on NPR radio, and he said the way he does it is he looks for those things that you just said, but he also looks at the audience, how they're looking
Their
at
reaction.
the person that's
true.
performing.
That's true. Like I said, it's a class clown. Most of the time, the class clown, everybody else looking at him like, you just did what?
Right.
And that's usually the star of the classroom. So it's the person that really wanted the attention,
Right.
The
And
more
likable enough to get away with it.
likable enough to get away with it. You know
That
what I'm saying?
balance.
For sure, man.
So would you say social media is overrated in identifying potential new stars?
Way overrated, bro. Way overrated. It's like it's hard to have a superstar because you know everything about them, and that's cool, but I think part of what really made us have real superstars is that you didn't really know everything about them.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? And in the age of social media, if you do have any points where you can keep any mystique about yourself, it's almost impossible. So if you can do that and blow up, like when Prince came out, he wasn't doing interviews.
Right.
And so like you just saw it through the talent. You just be like, man, what is going on?
Yeah.
There's that attractiveness.
It's the attractiveness of not knowing, but seeing. Like seeing the talent, but not knowing how they do it that much. You know what I'm saying?
But it seems like now this generation is gravitating more towards just authenticity. Because I know that was a product of a lot of artist development and keeping them in a certain, way of doing things.
I mean, artist development is how we started in Atlanta.
Right.
That started the whole music scene. Like me and Jermaine was running out to Lennox, dressing the kids, and then doing music on them, and didn't really know how it's going to come out, but we'll develop them at the same time. They look like this, they sound like that,
Right.
and even when LaFace came in, it was a whole artist development label. Every artist on LaFace was basically a headline artist because they were developed. How do they look? How do they sound?
it was intentional.
It was intentional. It was on purpose. Everything was.
Let's go back a little bit because one of the reasons you're here is because you inducted into the Songwriters Hall of Fame.
Congratulations.
Yeah, bro. Congrats.
Hey.
Georgia's on.
That's a big deal.
Man, that was crazy.
But how did it feel? Let me ask you this question, because how did it feel for you? I'm living vicariously through you on social media while you were there getting the award.
Yeah.
Then you came back and shared it with Atlanta. But honestly, for you, how did it feel for you being from where you're from, bro?
It's insane, man. I still feel different. It's like 550 people in the Hall of Fame.
Wow.
But when I start looking at like Frank Sinatra and Billy Joel and all these great people, and I'm like, man, then I start getting nervous. I was like, I'm really inducted in something like this, and you got Clive Davis, and you got all the chairman of everything. It's ridiculous. And then, but one of the craziest parts about it was, and I think one of the best parts about it for us in Atlanta and for urban music period, is they just started letting us in. You know what I'm saying? So Jay-Z went in, then Jermaine went in.
Yeah.
And then after Jermaine, then I got a call from Big John. He said, yo, man, you know, it's your turn. You're going in. And they said, well, who do you want to induct you in? I'm like, nobody can induct me in but Jermaine. And Jermaine been doing this out of College Park since 17, 18 years old. You know what I'm saying? At his mom's house, I would go make beats with him. So when you see the speech that he gave, and he came up and he did my set for me, he gave a speech about how, you know, I started doing records first, how he's come to his house and make beats and leave him on his MPC 60 at his mom's house. And he just gave this whole like recap of us in College Park. And that was the most magical part about it, to tell you the truth. I mean, everything else was really surreal, but it's so big, we never thought about being in the Hall of Fame. We wanted to be Grammys and we wanted to do, but it was something that didn't belong to us, so we never thought about it. You know, I'm going in with Cat Stevens, you know, like this dude was, I was listening to his records when I was like 7. So,
but even okay, you talk about being with Jermaine.
Yeah.
But even before that, you a country boy.
I'm country.
Columbus, Georgia.
You're country from Columbus, Georgia, at a time when what brought you to Atlanta? How did you come to Atlanta?
My brother broke my keyboard.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
You got to get a backstory on this, please.
Backstory on this is I asked my mom to buy me a keyboard every Christmas. Give me a bigger one, right? So I started with a calculator keyboard, and I worked myself up Casio, and I finally got this JX3P $1,200 keyboard that my brother had to finance for like 5 years, right? Anyway, I was playing the keyboard over and over again, and he came in the room and said, Mom, clean the room up. I'm playing Get It Up over and over again. I'm ignoring him. So he just picked the keyboard up, threw it across the room.
No, he didn't.
Right? And that day, I left and I went to the Greyhound bus station right around the street from my mom's. I'm like, I'm out of here. Dude broke my keyboard. I can't be a big star. My auntie lives in Atlanta. I'm going to Atlanta. I'm going to Moreland Avenue.
Are you serious?
She's like, oh, that's what she said. She's like, you crazy? I was 13. I was like, I'm going. She was like, well, come back home. Let's talk about it. It's late at night. I know you're mad. He broke your keyboard, whatever. Come back home and talk about it.
Wait, how old were you?
13.
Wow, 13.
Next
You hopped
day,
on the Greyhound.
I got up and looked at my keyboard. It was broke. I was like, I'm going. We went back to the Greyhound bus station in the daytime. My mom was like, you really gonna leave me and go to Atlanta? I'm like, I cannot be a big record producer here. Dude broke my keyboard.
Yeah.
She was like, I'll tell you what. I know you're stubborn. Give me 3 months to sell the restaurant. I'm going with you. And
wow.
She owned a soul food restaurant all her life, and she cooked in Columbus, Georgia, right around the street from Kim Porter's mom's restaurant, right? And so yeah, she said, give me some time to sell the restaurant. You're not leaving me here. I'm going with you. And we moved to Atlanta and moved to Old National Highway. And she started working at Po Folks, and I was going to Lakeshore. And then I just started going in, playing at Mr. V's Figure 8 with Greg Willis and all these like Princess and Starbreeze and all these bands that were local bands. I started playing like keyboards for them and doing lights for them. And then I met Joyce Irby, and then the rest of it kind of took off from there.
So you're a product of sibling rivalry gone right.
Yeah, and I remember
That's crazy.
Me and Kay Wells, I met them. I met all these guys like Bear and Pooh Bear and all them. We all in high school. You know, that's the magic about Atlanta is I've seen everybody come up because it all started with us starting it. And then from that point, we let them know that you could do it, and everybody started coming through the doors. Like whether it's TLC, or Ludacris, or like Little John. We knew all them way before they all made it. You know, because we were all in the community here, and we was all in high school together trying to make it. So it's like the floodgates opened, and it turned into a music industry. And we like, yo, we still tripping. Like this is crazy.
Do you feel like Atlanta's giving their credit for putting like hip hop on the map the way that it is now?
It's getting that way. You know what I'm saying? Because when we started off, like New York and LA wasn't accepting no Atlanta.
Right.
We wanted to be like the Bomb Squad. We wanted to be like Public Enemy. We were trying to find our place in Atlanta. We had like Raheem the Dream. You know what I'm saying? We had Kilo, but we had nobody really cutting us through, you know, the pop culture. So I think that we knocked it down, but then I still feel like we're fighting to be our own Nashville, you know? That's why we rebranding the city, be like, yo, y'all paid enough attention to us yet? We need more entertainment zones and things around here to make us, you know, we beyond Nashville, to tell you the truth, because we invented a new kind of pop culture.
For sure. Migos said that they were the ones who influenced where hip hop sounds like right now. You agree?
Yeah, they did. They were a big part of it, I have to say. And then, you know, it went through this phase, you know, like when it was really dark at one point, and it was, you know, Bone Crusher, and I Ain't Never Scared, and everything was about, like, you know,
Nuck if you buck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I think things got too serious for a minute, and then we started doing Laffy Taffy, you know, switch it up. We started doing the Young Jock, you know, everybody's like, let's start dancing, let's have some fun. This is getting too serious.
Something about them white t-shirts.
And then Atlanta's had a way of like just making sure that whatever happened, we just controlled it and went along with it. And then people didn't know there was actually the control of it. You know, you go to Europe, And all day long it's just Atlanta music. Period.
Yeah.
How you digging the scene right now? We got younger artists coming out like Keed, and you talk about Migos. How you feeling the scene right now?
I feel like I feel two things about it. I feel like they didn't have enough to pull from like we did. You know, like luckily for us, I feel like we had great things to pull from, and I think that's why in our generation it was more like entrepreneurs, because we had things to pull from. We was all excited about everything, and I feel like the younger generation, there's so many of them that they're influenced by each other, but they're not influenced by anybody else great, and so it keeps them with a ceiling over their head. You know, so it's like you don't ever think how to be greater because you made the money the night at the club. So you got to know your ears and your Instagram, and that's as great as you want to get. You know, but we were thinking like, well, how do we have our own company? If Tommy Hilfiger is in all the videos, and how do we make our own clothing company? How do we make our own alcohol company? How do we make our own? How do we make our own? It was a product of us. You know, especially coming out of Atlanta and civil rights and you know, all it took for us to get here. We took advantage of it. It was like, yo, how do we get everything? I want a studio. I want to. You know, I think the younger generation now, even if you pulled from an influence of the last 10 years, it's still a low-hanging fruit. It's still like it's not a high ceiling for you.
There you go.
You know, and I don't think that they really reach enough to be as great as they can be.
When you hear a song like that, what you think, man?
I love B. Smith he's very talented for one, but that does make me feel like we got some R&B coming in.
Doesn't it feel like that?
Yeah, man, because R&B had turned into rap music at one point. Like you could tell the difference in you could tell the difference if Chris Brown was rapping or singing. You can tell the difference. I mean, he made a ton of records, but you'd be like, yo, you can't tell the difference from the next one because they're busy in the streets with the R&B in a sense. You know what I'm saying? And then Love ain't that sounds like a love record.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So I like that record a lot. It makes me smile right there.
All right. Before we went to the break, we told everybody that you brought some music with you.
Yeah, so what I've been doing, man, is I don't know if everybody out there know Jay Wise of the Playlist Academy. He's been doing great on Edgewood and kind of rounding up kids. And every 5 weeks, he signs another 20-something kids and takes them through artist development.
Really?
Takes them to BMI. He takes them to me. He makes them sell their own tickets to their shows.
Nice.
So I started seeing that, and I was like, man, this is pretty incredible. But it just kind of hits the ceiling right there if we don't put them out, you know. And they're working. I seen these acts work harder than I seen acts, because acts lazy these days. Let's be real. Everybody real lazy. Like if they don't get 5,000 likes the first day, they think they quitting. If they don't, I mean, it's too instant, you know. So I feel like when somebody's putting the work in and they're really out here still in the streets, they're really out here still like trying. You remember the old days? You go to Lennox, everybody had a mix. Yo,
handing them out
the CDs. Like you think, oh, can I sell this to you? Can I sell this to you? But at least they were hustling, you know. So I really admire the hustling people, and that's how I found a few acts down. I found like 5 or 6 acts we just signed just out of Edgewood.
Nice.
Just out of Atlanta in the community, going back to the community and being like, okay, because the kids in the community, you know, they're there for real, but they don't really. It's almost like before they don't really have the outlet to get to us for real.
Right.
Even though we all in Atlanta, and they can put this stuff up on iTunes all day long and Tune Grooves and Empire all day long, but it's like throwing it into the ocean. You know, nobody's gonna know where it is.
Right.
You know, so we started kind of like going through and finding acts and say, okay, you know what, you deserve one. At least give you the shot. And kind of recultivate, and that's what the recultivation of Rowdy is about. Is kind of going back into communities and going back and finding these kids. We also have studios in schools. You know, I got 10 studios in schools right now. So it all goes back to the same thing. Is like we were those same kids wishing that we could make it. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times you don't got the equipment. Yeah. You know, or even it's not in the schools like that. You know, you take marching band. You know, like we did a drumline, but like. You're not really in the class that's gonna make you the money, and so I started putting studios in the schools because kids start associating. They know that if I make this rap record, if I make this song right here, I probably can make a career out of it in Atlanta. You know, they seen all of us do it, so this
Chili Chills.
Chili Chill. You know, I just feel like this is how I feel right now. I just feel like thank you Jesus for everything.
Okay, every day.
We need to get back to positivity. Period in these streets.
All right, we're gonna hear it first right here on V103. See what Dallas is working with. Everybody, turn this one up. Let's go.
Boy, looking like thank you Jesus. Yeah, tell you one time, man. Don't say I'm preaching. Yeah, would you look around and look like thank you Jesus? So many cars in the driveway had to park illegal, and the neighbors ain't complain, man. Thank you Jesus.
Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus.
All right.
Yeah, man.
Hey, that
Gratitude.
got like a feeling. Like you could really feel him. Like you could,
Yeah, man. I'm trying to find the kids right here like that. Really, I mean, it's a lot of talented people. It's a lot of talented MCs in Atlanta, actually.
For sure.
I feel like people started dumbing themselves down some, and not really get their stories out, not really get the feeling out because they're chasing everything else. And so like it's just we've always been known in Atlanta for having the most creative, the most talented and creative artists. We've been doing that for over 25 years now. I mean, if you look at the cast, if you look at CeeLo, if you look at what we've really done, it's just been such a difference in music that we've made.
Yeah.
All of us have, between Organized, the stuff we've done with TLC, the stuff JD's done, the stuff Tricky Stewart's done, the stuff, I mean, it just goes on in Atlanta, how we just cultivated this scene, and that's what really makes our city the city right now.
So is that what inspired you to create your academy?
Yeah, man. I mean, like, I wish I had it, and like kids don't associate. When I was in school, right, I didn't associate math and like English with me making music. I was just like, I gotta get to the studio. I ain't got time for this. I was like, well, hold on. Well, how you gonna count your money? You don't know your math. If you don't know your English, how you gonna write your songs? Well, if you don't know your history, what you gonna talk about? If you don't know your social studies, you don't know what Saint-Tropez is. You don't know what everybody's talking about. So all of it goes back to your music. And if somebody had told me that a long time ago, I had to figure it out the hard way.
Yeah.
But if somebody told me that, then I was like, oh man, I get it. And I've seen so many kids at the schools that we have. We've done 10 schools so far. The DallasAustinFoundation.org. Y'all go there, donate, help us out. But it keeps the kids out of the street, man.
Yeah.
You get everybody in Bankhead is like, okay, as soon as I get out of these streets, man, I'm getting to the studio, man. Street, studio. So we've seen a plethora of acts out of Atlanta, starting from T.I. to Jeezy to everybody else that's made it from the streets. And I'm just like, well, let's just take the streets out of the equation and put it into the school, and then add everything else to your education with it, and then be successful. So one of the best things with me is seeing people. I'm on the plane. I'm in place. Mr. Austin, we take your class. Oh man, you sent my son to college, man. Thank you so much. You changed his life.
Wow.
And you don't really get to feel that with foundations a lot of times.
Yep.
Like, a lot of times people, it just kind of floats away, but we making a real difference.
You leaving a legacy, man.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
We got to, man. We got to, man.
There it is.
Yeah.
Dallas, Austin, everybody.
I got a special announcement for you too. You can hear it first right here. I think Frank deserved this one.
Okay.
Because you've been here with us for so long. So me and Jermaine, we have a company we started together called JDA. We putting everything together under one umbrella.
Wow. Y'all are joining
serious?
Forces.
Yeah, we joining forces. So it's music management, record label, publishing company, everything. We putting it all under one umbrella. And you'll see it. We're doing a One Music Fest here, where we're gonna go back and forth and kind of talk about our history and play some music. And
Nice.
do it, but yeah, man, we locking this down, man. We Warner Brothers in this thing, man.
Hey,
There it is.
congratulations.
Congratulations.
That's
Big
awesome.
announcement. Big
Big up to
announcement
JD.
right here. All right. It's 8:52, Dallas. Thank you for coming through, bro.
Thank you, man. I
brother.
appreciate y'all. I love
Appreciate
y'all.
the
I'll be
history
back.
lesson and more.